Hello, guys.
Let me see. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Give me a minute, guys. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. What is going on, guys? Can you hear me good? Can you hear me well? Let me know in the comment section there if you guys can hear me. I think I'm going to take one out. There we go. I think that's better. I want to be able to hear my surroundings. Hey, it's static? Okay. How about now? How about now? Is it still static? Okay. Do you still hear static? Okay, good. So, Shanice, thank you so much for joining me. I'm sure you won't be the only one, but this will live here in live. I shared it to my Central Florida notary because I think it's important to kind of go over. We did talk a little bit about it when we talked with you guys during the Superior Notary Crew with Ayana. And long story short, um, we want to, you guys have had questions kind of behind the scenes, and I kind of want to go over some of the stuff. So, the things that we're going to go over is Thumbtack, and then we're also going to go over the notary calculator, the notary fee calculator, so you guys can see it. So, if you have anybody else that may be interested in wanting to get to know a little bit more about, um, a little bit more about Thumbtack, tell them to come on over. And also, if you guys have questions and things based on what you see, let me know. And then I can kind of go over it. Okay. So, Thumbtack is definitely a pay for play service. I don't want that to get mixed up and people to think that it's not. It definitely is. And it has become one of my main sources of how I gain my leads. How do I remove that? I don't know how to remove it. Okay. I'm acting like I don't know how to use StreamYard. But it has become my main source of leads, even with notary leads. I do get a lot of notary leads from there as well. And you do have to pay per lead, but you can go in and kind of adjust the cost of what you're willing to pay. So this is going to look very different from what it looks like on the phone. So, my recommendation, if you look at the app, just understand that there are going to be some things that you're going to see on the computer that you might not necessarily see on the app. So don't hold it against me. It's been a long time since I've interacted and done StreamYard and used my screen. So I'm not responsible for anything you guys see. I'm just kidding. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let me present my screen here. Let's see. All righty. So I'm not going to be able to see the screen while I'm on Thumbtack. So give me 1 second. Hey, what's up, Ayana? Let's see here. Facebook. I'm gonna pull it up on my iPad real quick so I can kind of look and see what I'm looking at. So, uh, all right. I'm just doing this strictly so I can see comments. All right. So, change tabs. Yeah. I'm about to do that now. I just wanted to get this squared away first. So, this is Thumbtack. Okay. Um, there's two different websites that Thumbtack have. You have for your pro, and then you have for the customer. So we will be joining as a pro, right? We don't want to see the customer side of things. That's where it allows you to go in and book jobs, for yourself. If you needed an officiant or whatever type of job, you can find it. So you would join as pro. I'm going to go ahead and log in. And this is kind of what you see when you go into the app. You got all of the insight, you got your reviews, payments. This is just by hitting the down arrow here. There's a tab. You got a little notification bell, which actually shows you all of your notifications that you've gotten, like simplify your billing. It will give you like little tips and tricks on how to streamline your particular site. They give, I think it's generic advice. It is kind of a search engine type thing. There's no real people that are associated with it. There's not anybody that you can reach out to call. So it's all automated is the word that I was trying to say. But these are where your notification lies. If you have it on your phone, you will get a notification. If you have notifications on for the Thumbtack Pro app, and you'll be able to go see it in real time. So you have a couple different tabs on the left hand side here. You got leads, you got messages, you got services, which services would be the type of services that you want to advertise for. For example, wedding officiant, and for some reason they put, well, I guess it is, they put notarization under legal service provider services. And then you have your calendar, which allows you to be able to go in and block off your time. Like for example, you guys know that I work from 10:30 or 10 to 7:30 daily. So it's not good for me to get a lead on a Friday at 6 o'clock. Like that's just wasted money. And that's kind of one of the things that you don't really get to know as well, because when you're first starting out you don't know how to navigate that because they don't explain it in that way. A lot of this stuff was just learning by doing, and using some of the tips and tricks that it gave me, because it does tell you, you can block off your calendar. But so far I've gotten all the way up to the 14th. It is time consuming to block off time, but I'm gonna show you guys how I do that. If I wanted to block a particular time frame, like for example, let's say the 15th, I know I'm working that day. That's next week. So I would block that day, which is probably not the right way to do it, but that's the only way I know how to do it. So I block that day, and now I'm going to edit it. I don't put anything when it comes to title. I go in and change that I don't want it all day. I just want it until 7 p.m. on the 15th. So I'm not going to get any leads. Now you will get leads if it is a open time frame. Like for example, they say anytime, which they can say. If you have your time blocked off, and you still could get it, like, okay, they say from 6 to 9 p.m., which is beyond your hours or your hours that you have blocked, or from 8 to 9, you still may get that lead. And with the leads, it's not guaranteed that you will be able to close it. You really do kind of have to work hard on that. At times, sometimes they'll just fall in your lap, but it all really depends on who calls who calls first. It's because in most instances it is first come first serve. You're not the only pro that they've sent this job to, unless the customer decides to only reach out to you, which can happen. So there is that. So that's under calendar, and then profile. Profile is what you see. You see what your profile looks like from a customer standpoint, and it's going to have some pertinent information in terms of your business name. Um, it is also going to have your business phone number, your business website. My recommendation is to fill all of this stuff out. The more you fill out, the more information the customer have, the more comfortable they are with booking you. I have my address. I have the year I was founded, and 2 employees, which will be myself and Carlos. Okay. Here, my introduction, I have just a little blurb. Our focus is the customer experience. My husband, Carlos and my husband, Carlos and I, with our over 20 years of sales experience and sales service, we strive to deliver the best wedding service there is, and I can't use there correctly, so I need to go in and edit that. No job is too small. My hours are 24 hours and will literally go anywhere I'm needed. Let's book today. LGBT, blah, 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 just other things that will kind of help with search engine stuff. So I have LGBT, I have Black owned, I have Latino owned, general notary work, powers of attorneys, and wedding planning also. It made me pick the COVID thing. I think COVID is, obviously still going on. If the client requests it, you should comply. I did have to do a background check. I don't remember how much it cost or if it cost anything. So you would kind of have to see. I don't remember. The professional licenses, if you are a general contractor, like for example, a roofer, you would want to put your professional license there. Unfortunately, notary is not on that list, so you can't put your notary license on there. There's no way to do it. Let's go in and click on add so we can see. So you see that it says state of Florida here because that's what state I'm in. And then it has a list of jobs. And unless I'm just ignorant and I don't know any better, I don't see anything that would align closely with notary. I'm not a CPA. I see certified general contractor, but I'm assuming that has something to do with construction. I might be wrong, but I also haven't tried it. So, that may be worth going in and looking into. So I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel here. For those of you who happen to be new, it's going to be very hard to do. And that's getting pictures and videos to represent the type of business or work that you're going to be doing. That obviously will come over time. My recommendation is to put stock stuff on there. We're going to go through some of these pictures and you'll see. Actually, let me hit show more. It's probably really far down there. Yeah, we're not going to go through them all, but I do have some stock photos that I used to use in the very beginning. So, you can put captions on there. To me, it just takes a lot of time to do, but this is kind of a landing page where it's a quick glance that customers can go and look at. I don't think I'll go back and do the captions, but you can. And every time I do the wedding stuff, I always ask, and I also put it in the contract that I do too, is it okay for me to share your pictures? If they check yes, then we do. And I send them pictures of the ones that I'm going to be posting online. And if they say no, or they don't check that part on the contract, then I don't post it. So make sure you get your customers' consent because it is their special day. You don't want to post anything that ain't supposed to be posted, I had one wedding that was actually an unplugged wedding, and she was like, "I don't want no photos." And I was like, "Well, what about Carlos? What about him taking photos?" And then she was like, So I was like, "Well, okay." Now, further down, are you offering any discounts? Not currently. Are you offering remote services or consultations? I am. The consultations typically are done either Zoom, Google, or other ways, or just a phone call to really kind of talk to the customer about what they're looking for if they've gotten this far, right? So I do have my social media. If you click on that, that's going to go directly to my Facebook page, and then I also have Instagram too. I don't have a Twitter for my business. I just don't see the point. I'm social media out really. Um, Payment methods. I do use Apple Pay, cash, check, credit card, Square, Venmo, Stripe. I'm sorry, Zelle. I do them all. So which one you need. Just pick one. I got it. um, and then I do have featured projects which you can do. Take pictures. My recommendation for those of you who are doing the wedding thing is to, if you can, do like a mock photo shoot with a friend or a family member, and just have them take pictures in front of a you know a, an arc or something like that. Just kind of fancy it up a little bit to show kind of what type of projects you do. But it advertises other things that we have, and I'm going to hit show more here because I do have a couple more. I have the champagne celebration. We will provide champagne, picture perfect elopements, which does include a tiara, as well as the glasses, the champagne glasses, and um, oh, a bouquet, that we put on there. So I don't want to leave the page, so we don't stay on the page. And then I also have, which I need to update some of these prices. I do have a few of my weddings listed because these prices are old. These are not the correct prices. So if you're trying to book and it's $125, so sorry, you're not gonna get that. Um, but it has Boda Tuyo. Those are my package names, Boda Classico. Um, and then I have just some other pictures of other things that I've done. And then you get down to the nitty gritty of the stuff, which are the reviews. These are real reviews that your customers leave. Um, you do have to solicit, because sometimes, not solicit, that's not the correct word, but you do have to remind folks because they don't remember to do it right away. And so far, I have 31. Actually, let me go back up to the top. Does it have it? Oh, no, it doesn't have it. I think I have 31 or 32 um, 5-star reviews. So that's really good. So the most recent one was the one that was done today. Rufus was a very young, very nice gentleman. And I typically will go back and comment on it just to show them thank you. You know what I'm saying? Before that, we had Alexandria, we had Netta, and then you can read all the other reviews. And then at the bottom, it has like FAQs, which the FAQs are frequently asked questions. What should the customer know about your pricing, discounting fees, e.g.? I always say fair and negotiable. And what I mean by that is let's say, for example, I have a customer who really wants to get married by me, but it's a money issue. I'm not gonna just go and bow down, but we can come in the middle and figure out, okay, what's your budget, and then I can adjust it. Because at the end of the day, I always say this: you're not gonna get rich off of one customer. Okay, you're not gonna get rich off of one customer. It's just not gonna happen. So why not do it on a case by case situation? Now, these are all questions that Thumbtack ask, um, and you do have to take the time to do it. Um, you know, you don't want to be too long drawn out. But I recommend, if it's a space, it's an empty space on your page, go ahead and fill it out. And that's pretty much it on that page. This is what the customers see. Make sure you fill out as much information as you possibly can. So at this point, I'm going to go back up to the top, and we're going to go to leads. Now, when you're on Thumbtack Pro, you can't search other businesses to try to see what their pricing is. And it's that way by design. They want to make it as fair as possible, so you don't go and undercut customers, because this person charges 175 and you charge 150 because you want to gain an edge. They don't allow you to go in and search the search engine to see what everybody else is charging. Now, my recommendation is, if you're interested, download the consumer app, and just do a search. You can do it that way. Now, when you do a lead, that person that you reach out to, they pay for that lead. So keep that in mind, especially being on this side, and that could potentially happen to you, where a customer, another notary can be looking to see what your pricing is, and they do a lead, and you have to erroneously pay for a lead, which you can go back in and dispute leads too, which I'll show you guys here in a bit as well. So we're going to go to leads. Leave this page. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Okay, great. So you have two different tabs. You have direct leads. Right now, I don't have any direct leads. I'm not working anything. There hasn't been anything that came directly to me. So even if it's a slow day, I do have the ability to go in and work them. Hey, Stephanie, how are you? I can go in and work the opportunities. Direct leads will be leads that customers pick, like they pick me specifically, and it will show up here. This has some information where, after the customer pick you, those leads will show up here, and you can get free leads, additional leads, by exploring services. So I'm going to click on it. So, do you offer any of these services? Legal document preparation, I do not, and I'm not in accounting, so that would not work for me. But if you did have those capabilities, then you would be able to get up to 8 free leads. Essentially, what happens is it will allow you to kind of check what type of services and documents you prepare, and it will have like different areas that you can pick. And they, like, say, for example, Suffner, Florida. Ain't a lot of, folks in that area, that might do what you're doing. And, you will be able to extend your lead out that far to those customers, and be someone that they happen to use because they're in a small town. So, just something to think about. But we ain't doing that. I'm not I don't want to finish that up. Did I finish that up? I might have. Okay. Okay, it's asking me to finish it, and I have to go back in there and delete it. Oh, this is good. This tells you how many leads I've gotten so far. I spent $17 on a wedding lead, and unfortunately, with that wedding lead I got yesterday, they were in the Clearwater area, which is far from me. It would have been within my price range because it was a smaller area, but the person that had already reached out was closer for them, and I gave them that option. I'm like, well, they're probably closer, so my recommendation would be to work with them. I could have tried hard to get it, but because I had already paid for the lead, but I'm not going to do it. But I spent $17 on that particular lead. It was sent to 3 other people, and then I have 23 views so far. While I'm here, I'm just gonna go ahead and go into the weekly budget, because I know y'all want to know about like can it be expensive? I know Shanice was concerned about that, so let's go into it. Edit weekly target. I have a weekly target right now of $60. Thumbtack recommends for me to do 100. Now, if I do 100, that means I'm going to be at the top of the list. So people gonna see me. They ain't gonna be able to not see me because I'm gonna be number one. They gonna prefer me the most. Right now, I'm probably within the top five, you know, because it's kind of slow time. I don't really have a lot of time other than the weekends and the days that I'm off to do it. I don't want to open myself up to leads that I can't take, and I also don't want to spend $100 per week. Okay. Um, so if I was green to this, I would have the option to do their recommendation, keep my current budget. Let's say I'm not new, I'm new off the out the box. I wouldn't have a budget. And that will be where I can customize what I want my budget to be, or I can do unlimited budget. Now, in the month of July, June and well, July and August, I was messing around with the budget. At one point, I was doing what they were recommending, and I think it was probably about the same amount. And I was getting a lot more leads. Um, but at this point, I mean, you want to make sure you offset some of that cost, which is how at some point you build your packages. You just offset that to the customer, right? Um, I think if I had to do a ballpark figure, it would probably be about 1,500 that I've spent in leads, but I've made almost $7,000. So it's the return on investment is significant. You know, but I can do either the unlimited budget. That means they can charge me what they want. They don't care, and trust me, Thumbtack definitely be sending you leads that ain't even in your purview. It's like, why am I getting damn stuff from Jacksonville? I'm not in Jacksonville. I'm not driving to Jacksonville. But that's what happens when you have it completely open. So I'm gonna save my weekly budget of $60. Right now, I've only had one lead and it's Wednesday. So, more than likely I'm not. I didn't hit my lead or my budget last week or the week before. Um, and that's okay. I'm completely okay with that. So we're gonna go ahead and hit save here. All righty. And then let's see, max lead prices. I'm just gonna click on this stuff. I have my competitive, right? You can go all the way to the end. I don't want to play with that because I don't want to have to change it back. But the most I'll pay is $10. That's what I have set. Now that's average. I might pay 17 for one. I might pay $5.16 for another. So it's an average of $10, right? So it's based on the average, not I'm gonna pay $10 per lead. You get what I'm saying? So you can adjust it. It says right now for notarization it's pretty competitive. So that's good. So I'm in the that's why I'm in the top five. Wedding officiant, the most I'll pay per lead. Oh, you know what? I just noticed that distinction. So I'm glad it shows that. So notarization, I'm not gonna pay any more than $10. Okay, per lead. Again, sometimes it's right at 10, sometimes it's 8.97. It's weird pricing amount, right? Um, so I know not to charge my customers $10 for a notarization because I'm just gonna break even. That's where your travel fee and all that other stuff comes into play. The wedding officiant, the max I'm gonna pay is $20. You guys saw where it was 17. For that one that was within that limit. I'm not going to pay any more than 20. So if it's a $25 lead, you can just miss me with that. And let's see, performance in the last 30 days. 5 leads and my average has been $14.17. Let's see what my performance is for. Okay. So my notarization in the last 30 days has been 11 leads and $7.81. And I would have to say, out of those 11 leads, I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to lie, but I have a pretty good close rate um, when it comes to notarization. Notarizations are really easy. Again, that's just quick draw McGraw. You just gotta be quicker than that. So let's go back. Save max prices. Yeah, we're done with that. So now we're gonna. I want to show you guys this because I want to show you guys the opportunities. This is the things that you don't pay for. You don't pay for accessing the opportunities in your area. See, because I put in legal documents, now that shit is gonna show up. I gotta go in and delete it because I'm not gonna. That's not me. So the very first one. Okay, I'm gonna have to send her. That was a client of mine. The very first one you see here. This is where you can go in and kind of work your magic, right? Um, You see, I don't know how to pronounce that person's name, but they're looking for a wedding officiant. Zero pros have responded. Riverview is the area. I have no idea where that is, but this is on a Thursday. It's at 12:30. Okay, and it's an hour. It's an hour. They don't. It doesn't give um, the customer the opportunity to do 15-20 minutes. They normally will say that in their notes, but it doesn't give you the ability. Okay, that's near you. It doesn't give you the ability to do 15-20 minute increments. They have to do automatically an hour. But you can see what it says. It says a wedding, non-denominational. They do want mention of God, 20 guests or fewer. They won't need help writing vows. They do want you to speak English, or they're looking for English speaking. The officiant will not have to be at at the rehearsal, and then the officiant does not need to be present. Oh, they put that twice. And then it has the zip code. So we're gonna go in and view details so we can get more information. So when I go in and view details, I can actually go in and put the amount that I want to charge. So for me, this would be a $175 job plus whatever travel it is. Um, and I would put that amount in the fixed price here, and then I would introduce myself. And I do have a template that I use that will introduce who I am, the name of my company, and it also gives them my phone number. So in the event that they don't want to reach out here, they can call me. So let's look at some of the other information. It's pretty much the same thing that it said here, not available. And it's actually, oh, the job expires because you do have a expiration time. It expires at 7:45 on Friday. So if you are interested in this would be a perfect lead to work because ain't nobody responding. You ain't got no competition at this point. So all you doing is selling against yourself and time. So put what you think is going to be in there. Leave a nice little message. Introduce yourself, and if they respond, then you'll get their phone number. Okay? If they don't respond, you won't see their phone number. And it's free, absolutely free to get these leads. Now, if they answer your response, then they will charge you for that lead. And it doesn't tell me, I can't see the price. It normally shows me on my, oh, you know what, right here. So the price that it says you'll pay only if the customer responds. It's free to quote. So that means you're gonna pay $33.52. That's taken. So take that out of the amount that you're gonna pay, or that it would be. So if it's 175, that would be 145 that you would end up making out of that if you don't offset that to the customer. So my recommendation would be to do 200, because at that point you're offsetting the The charge 200, 215, whatever you feel is best. But $33. If you did 100, that's about 3 times what this lead is. If you do 175, that's about 7 times this. No, 5 times this lead, give or take. So you can kind of work with it. You can kind of work with it. Add Thumbtack leads to your pricing. Yep, there you go. So if I was interested in this, I would respond and try to work it, but I'm not interested. It's I have to work that day, so I can't adjust my schedule. It's the end of the year, so for me, I don't have the ability to be able um, to do that. Not right now. So now we're gonna go back into opportunities again. Okay, we got 2 days ago we had Shalika. She contacted two wedding officiants. They're in Denellen. Um, it is a Muslim wedding. If you do Muslim weddings, then this would be a lead that you would work. I do not do Muslim weddings, so that wouldn't work for me. But it also, because it's been a couple days, and Thumbtack, they don't. I don't think they actually track if the lead is being worked or somebody's picked it up unless that you disposition it, which I'll show you guys here in a second. But right now, Thumbtack thinks that this it's been out here for 2 days and they're offering a 15% discount. So, whatever the amount of the lead would be, they would minus the 15%. But right now, so far, it's been 2 days. Two pros have been responded. There probably wouldn't be anything I would check. Paul J, he needs a notary. He's in Ellington, Florida. Ellington, Florida. It was on the 6th, which is yesterday. So you would have to travel back in time to get this lead. Why it is still up here, I have no idea. But the date was free yesterday, and it was late afternoon and evening. This would have been something I could have done, within range. Again, we can go and view detail. It would have been 2 signatures, quick claim deed in Ohio. Let's see the price. Price is $6.85. It would have been $8.06 before. Okay. Jackie in Melbourne, she sent out a request for 2 notary publics. 15% offered on that one. That was today. More than likely it's been worked. She could have also searched other places too. That's the downside of going and work some of these opportunities. I think the ones that are like older than a day, don't worry about them. Don't go in and look into them because, what if they respond and say they found somebody? You automatically get charged for that lead. Now you got to go in and actually dispute it. And sometimes Thumbtack will give you the money back. Sometimes they won't. It's all automated. Legal document, 2 notaries, another wedding. That's the same wedding officiant. This one is Jessica L. It's set for Saturday, September 30th. It's in DeLand. It's at 4:00. Wedding. It's Christian, 50 to 100 guests. Vows will not be needed. Help with vows will not be needed. And those are things that you can charge extra for. So if they do want you to help them with their vows, then you can say, all right, that would be an additional 5 or, $25, $30 or whatever your hourly rate is. English, that's the day. It's a year from now. Let's view details. 2 people have responded. I might work this. I might work it because it's so far out and the customer may not feel like they need to find somebody right away. So why not put your name in the mix? If they don't respond, then you don't, no harm, no foul. It will be held at Bridal Oaks in DeLand. It expires on the 8th at 9:07 in the morning. And let's see what the price is going to be. It's $26. It's a lot. $26. So that's pretty much working the leads. Okay. They call them opportunities. That's pretty much what you do to work opportunity. Oh, this wasn't up there. This one is on Friday, on February December 23rd, so the day before New Year's Christmas Eve. This is in my wheelhouse, but here's the thing: there have been four other people that have said, "Hey, let me put my hat in the ring." The chances are going to be pretty slim. But these are some of the things that they want. They want help with vows. They want you to be at rehearsal, and rehearsals at 3 p.m. on the 22nd, and 50 to 100 guests. So this would be extra stuff that you can add in, in terms of, because you're going to be using your time. More than likely rehearsal is going to be an hour or more. So think of what your hourly rate is, and you would add that on. Think of what it would cost, in terms of an hour for helping them write vows. That's another thing that you can add on too, with your packages. It all depends on what the customer is looking for. And then Tampa on the 25th. I actually saw this one, and I was gonna work it, but it's in Tampa. It's on Christmas, and it's just the elopement. I don't mind doing elopements, but I don't want to drive to Tampa to go do it. That's too far, and I'm probably gonna charge the customer a lot of money to do that. So, I mean, my philosophy when it comes to putting my prices out there, I'm not going to sell from my own pockets. I'm going to sell from there. So they have to tell me no. They have to say, no, that's too much for me to stop. Like if you are a person that on Wedding Wire, which is another site that I use, and you don't respond, I'm going to text you back and say, hey, I just wanted to know if you had any information or if you had any questions, just to really work the lead as much as I possibly can. Because at this point, I've already paid. Why not use it? They're going to have to tell me to stop for me to get it. Right. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. The next section is going to be messages. And these are, jobs that I had gotten that had actually responded to me. Like, for example, we talked about Rufus. Rufus actually he did a review. But Beth, and excuse, you guys, this is, I just noticed that just now. Oops. But this is on Central Florida Notary. Just don't go out and put this information. Don't share this among anybody else. But I'm also not going to show you because it's going to show their phone number too. But you guys heard me say disposition it. Beth reached out to me. They have a wedding that's going to be happening Saturday on the 10th. I wasn't available, so I wouldn't have been able to do it. But actually, I would have. Yes, I would have, because I'm off this Saturday. But we talked on the phone. She, we spoke. She said, well, we've already spoken to a young lady. And she was like literally 3 seconds from me calling. And she got her. She was able to book it. But, me and Beth talked. I'm not a good fit. So at that point, I can go in and disposition the job. Okay. It says not hired. I wasn't hired for this job. So I disposition it so I don't go back in that inbox to try to work it anymore or try to figure out like, why didn't that work? Why didn't I get it? And another thing I like on this too is you can actually view the competition as well. And viewing the competition gives you an opportunity to see who else responded to it. Okay. It was, let's see. And this is good information too in terms of in your market. So in my market, the average wedding officiant is 32 5-star reviews. They typically reply in 4 hours. And then you had me, Pro A, Pro B, and Pro C. You don't get to see the names of the people who you're working with. So I responded in 5 minutes. Pro B responded in 49 seconds. Pro C also responded in 5 minutes. And then Pro A ain't responded yet. Pro A just so busy, they ain't got time. That's basically what that means. But then it tells you get to see your competition and kind of see how you measure up. But this is going to be huge because you'll be able to see who responded the quickest, and it was um, Pro B. It says I responded in 5 minutes, which is true. I mean, it was 40, I think 57 minutes or something like that. I was very close to Pro B, and that's who she ended up going with. So if I wanted to respond, I can respond to her and go, "Hey, girl, I'm available, whatever." Um, in messages, we're gonna go back. Let's see. And then other things. Let's see. Katie, I dispositioned that one. I actually got that lead and worked it, a wedding lead that was. Let's go in and look in this. Oh, I'm glad it's saying click to show phone number because I really didn't want y'all to see. Now they can pay me on here. I don't really want them to pay me on here. I would prefer them pay me where I build them at. Um, but yeah, they can pay through the app, and I have that set up too. So let's take a look and see what I paid for. Let's see the competition. So I responded in an hour. They responded in 4 hours. Okay. Um, so I was the only one she contacted. Sorry about that. I was the only person that she contacted. And they do have the option to say, I just want this person. You know what I'm saying? So I responded in an hour. I called her immediately as soon as I could. And she was like, "Oh my God, that was fast." And from there we worked it up, talked about it, gave her a price. She was okay with it. And it was for her brother-in-law. So I'm actually going to talk to them on Friday, and then we'll move forward with getting everything done. But I don't typically want customers to pay me until we do a consultation. Shout out to Virgil who gave me this great idea. Don't say yes to working with somebody you don't know. So have that consultation, get to know them, and find out who you're working with, because you might have bridezilla or groomzilla, and that might not be something you're looking to deal with. So you can choose to part at that time during the consultation. Oh, well, I don't see this being a fit. What I'll do is I'll recommend someone else who can do it. So something to think about. But I confirmed that. Um, Alexandria Sullivan, that was an I-9 that I did. This young lady, this was a wedding, but she was slick because she went through and did it for a notarization. But I pay less for notarizations. And she had only contacted me. If this was a wedding officiant one, I would have paid about $17, $18. This was a notarization, so I only paid I think it was like $5 for this one. So that's it. Unread, archive, sent quote, starred, pending, all that stuff. It categorizes it. Services, we've already seen that. Calendar. Let me go back into leads or messages. I'm sorry. Oh no, this is messages. And then the part that you want to see to kind of see if you're getting the best out of what you can, and try to find other ways you can refer up to other pros. Right now they're looking for HVAC people, so if you know any HVAC folks who might be interested in advertising on Thumbtack, this will be a good place to go. Let's see, insight. This is what my last 4 weeks were. I had 282 views, 14 leads. I spent $144 in leads. And this was, the last 30 days. 45 views by type. Notarization, $92. Officiant, $52. Divorce attorney, 1 view. That's because I just did that. And I got no additional views. Information from there. Let's go into payments. Payments, well, you can only see the last one, my credit card. You can't really see the credit card, so don't try to look for anything. But you can go in and add funds so it doesn't take out of your account directly. You can also request a refund, and this is helpful. So if I wanted to with Beth, because I couldn't get her. They always say, Thumbtack always say, we don't promise you leads. We just promise to get you in front of customers. So they can deny it. But I could go in and say, yeah, I want to um, uh, get this reimbursed. They'll review it. And then sometimes they just do it off of courtesy. They do it off of, customer satisfaction stuff. Like, all right, you haven't requested in a while. We're going to give you this money back. And, you can call support during their business hours to find out what, to look for the charge if you don't see it through their profile. That's it. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. What I want to go to now is I want to go to the notary calculator. I hope that was helpful with you guys in terms of Thumbtack and understanding it a little bit better. I know I was kind of all over the place, but I mean, to be honest, that's how I was able to learn, it. Oh, this is something that it also shows that your customers see. It shows how many reviews. So I have 31 reviews and I've been hired 45 times on Thumbtack. So I just caught that just now. Let's see. So let's go into the notary calculator. All right. Storage is full. It's telling me, oh, okay, that's my Google storage. Very helpful. Thank you. Awesome. So this is what I use. This is what I use for my weddings. I do it for mobile notary stuff as well. But we're specifically talking about notary. All right. Or weddings. So let's say the one from the Tampa area decided that they wanted to hire me, or they messaged me and they want to know what my pricing is. I want to get paid for the mileage in which I do. So that's a part of the equation, 62 cents. My max per stamp that I can charge is $30. And then my hourly rate, as we mentioned earlier, is, can I edit it? Will it let me edit? Oh no. Oh no, will it not let me edit? No, it's not letting me edit. Anyway, it is not allowing me to edit, and I don't know why. It was something that I probably didn't do. Share, but it's not allowing me to edit, which is fine. But my hourly rate is $70. It does change depending on the time, the length of time of the wedding. But that's pretty rare. This particular customer that I checked, they were in Eustis, and I'm in Ocoee. I just do the city and state. I don't put my address. One stamp. That's all the notarization takes. Oh, because of my storage. Got it. Okay. So it's only one stamp that you do for the wedding. The travel time is 28 minutes. So what my travel fee would be at the 62 cents would be $34.72. And then the travel time for I don't think that's right. 30. Yeah, that can't be right. Or maybe it is. The travel time for, I don't know if that's right. I don't think so. And I can't edit it to see. But the travel time is 36 minutes. That would be $120. And then the time for the wedding, it was an hour wedding, or they requested an hour. So it'd be 60 minutes. You notice that the 60 minutes and then the hourly rate here, that's the same. Okay. And then if there were any other additional fees, you would put there. So this is what my total fee I would charge that customer, or I could charge that customer. So $285. And what I did last night when they, when they reached out to me, I did 280. I did actually 275, give or take. They didn't respond, but I mean, the likely chance that they're going to get an officiant for less than that is slim to none. And they just kind of have to figure out a way. They may end up deciding to go the notarization way, which, at that point, they want someone to just notarize, stamp the document. But I will tell you guys this, and this is, information that you need to know. If anyone comes to you and you are a notary and they want you to just stamp their marriage license, you cannot just stamp their marriage license. You actually have to read them a declaration of intent. Okay. And a declaration of intent is it's a basically, I call it the I do part of the wedding. Do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife? I do. Do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband? I do. That has to be said to the couple first. You can't just stamp it, sign it, and go on about your business. I mean, it's not a valid license if it's not done that way, or a valid marriage if it's not done that way. But the other things you can do is notary calculator, online, calculator, what your online fees are, 25 per stamp, $10 per additional stamp, so on and so forth. Did a mock one. You can also do a apostille. It's really helpful. One of the things that we weren't charging before is for our time, for the notarization. We were only charging, or I was only charging $10 for the notarization and then travel fee. A lot of times it ends up working out. And this is just a suggestion. You don't have to use this, but it definitely, like Ayana was saying earlier, takes the guesswork out of having to come up with the price and feeling like you might have undersold yourself because of whatever reason. All right. So delete something. What I don't know to delete. Oh, am I no, it's my Google. I don't yeah, you don't want to go to my Google photos. I'm not trying to do all that. I'm just playing. But I mean, it's it's pretty pretty easy to explain. Maybe I'll go back and I'll do a video with just specifically this. And then you guys can actually see it a little bit better. But that's all I got, y'all. That is it. I hope this was absolutely helpful for y'all because you're out of storage. I hope this was absolutely helpful for y'all. This has actually been super fun for me. I'm glad that you guys were interacting. Didn't have too many questions, but I can tell that you guys were engaged. So that's awesome sauce. And yeah, Thumbtack can definitely be a resource. Some people will use it to kind of get in front of customers and then eventually kind of dwindle it down. Like I told you guys initially, I was doing the max of whatever the budget they recommended. And then after a while, I cut that down. And depending on how you charge the customer, again, you can offset that to them, depending on where you get your leads from. And take the time that it needs to take to set this up. This actually shows you profile strength, super strong. Delete something. She said that. It does give you the ability to see as a customer. This is what my page looks like on the consumer side, what they see. Oh, it shows that you're online. All of that. So let's go back to StreamYard. So the budget, correct. Yes, the budget. So if you're going and actually, that's a good question. So if you're going and you're reaching out, you're working the opportunities, correct. They do not charge you until the customer responds back. And also the same with the lead. If you do get a direct lead, they typically won't charge you until no, they charge you automatically. They do charge you automatically when you get a direct lead. But after a while, what they'll start doing is instead of charging you like $7.99 every single time, they'll just pick it a random Wednesday and do the charges. So but yeah, that's it. That is it. I'm just a little confused on that. So you set the budget, and whatever you don't use stays into your account into the next week. No. So let's say, like, for example, my budget last week was $60. I'll only use 58 of that budget. Okay. So that's $60 of my money that I set aside for, for them to take. Right. So if I have $2 left, that just gets wiped clean. And then the next week, I just start with the new $60. So instead of you getting charged $60 the entire week because, they got you $60 worth of leads, you would only pay what you were billed for. Does that make sense? My lead amount is $60 per week. At one point it was 70, at one point it was 100, but again, every week it renews. And that money that's left over, it's not a bucket. It's just that they hadn't charged you for that. They only charged you for the leads that you did come in contact with, and the ones that you agree with. Does that make sense? Oh, let me stop sharing. Give me a second. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay. All right. And besides, if you have any other questions, you can definitely let me know. But it is definitely a source to use, especially if you want to get into the wedding market. It is something that you should just use on your table. It can be expensive for those people who don't know how to work it and who happen to be horrible at calling customers back because they're afraid. Yeah, you might see it as a waste of money. But if you're a go-getter like I am, and most of everybody that's in Ayana's group and in my group, it is, it can be lucrative. Do I get more leads from Thumbtack or from Wedding Wire? I get more leads on Thumbtack. I would say my average so far on Wedding Wire and The Knot has been about a lead a month, a lead and a booking a month. And that's good because depending on the wedding size, it may pay for, like, for example, the lead that I got last month that I closed, it paid for 2 months of service through Wedding Wire. So, that's a win-win. I also told you guys that I do Wedfolio and Gig Salad and Bark and a whole bunch of other places too. Google, all of that. So expand your horizons, man. Expand your horizons. So unless you guys have any other questions, I hope I answer all of that. You guys can keep this conversation going on YouTube, and I will respond as they come. I hope you have a good rest of your night, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.